Our next guest has played a huge role in the Notre Dame rushing offense, setting a school record with a 5.76 yards per carry average this past season. Ronnie Stanley also compiled a 97.3% pass block success rate this season, won the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year award, beating out an impressive list of candidates, and as we tape this show, is on track to become a consensus first-team All-American. He is also projected to be a high first-round draft pick in the coming NFL draft and is completing his academic requirements to earn a degree in management entrepreneurship from the Mendoza College of Business. We are delighted to welcome Ronnie to our show today.
Ronnie, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. That introduction reflects a remarkable level of success during your time here at Notre Dame. Has it gone by quickly?
I would say this last year has gone by quickly. Probably not so much the first three, because you're in the middle of it, so you're thinking about it a little bit more. But this last year really has flown by.
So Joe and I talked in the first segment about sort of what the schedule is for the bowl game and how all that works and that. But what's your schedule when the bowl game's over? So you got a lot in front of you, a lot to prepare for. Tell me how that works.
Yeah, so ultimately I'm trying to decide on what agent I want to, sign with. I already know where I'm gonna train, so I would go to my training site and start training immediately right after the bowl, trying to get ready for the combine.
And where is that?
It's in Las Vegas with Travell Gaines.
Uh-huh.
It's called Athletic Gaines.
Yeah, you're familiar with Las Vegas, I think, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
A lot of gains happening in the Athletic Gains facility, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
know you're all about the gains.
All
Ronald.
about the gains.
All about
yeah.
the gains. Ronnie, we look forward just now, to obviously after the bowl game, and sure what's going to be an illustrious career for you. But I think when people got here, Ron, I feel like we all saw the potential for Ronnie Stanley to become like an amazing left tackle. But some other people didn't see that, and I think maybe talk a little bit about your development and kind of just proving everybody wrong, and becoming really what I believe the best left tackle in college football. We haven't played anyone even remotely close. Just talk about your development and how that kind of happened for you.
Yeah, so like you said, I was really just trying to prove everyone wrong, and I'm not the type to talk about how much I know or how high my potential is, or even if I know it deep inside, I wouldn't really talk about it to any other people. Just really focus on getting better and really reaching the potential was the key thing in my head, and just focusing on that and knowing if I could focus on that, I could get to where I am right now, and just trying to keep that mindset as I go into the next level is really what I'm trying to do and trying to set myself apart.
You look at your last season, the 2014 year, and you really had a breakout season. Talk about what you did, going into that season, but also then you managed to maintain that into this year. Maybe what did you do differently in preparation, technique-wise? Was it just extra sessions with Coach Heastand, which I'm sure are the norm? What exactly did you do?
I wouldn't say it was just all the extra sessions, but I'm sure I know that helps. But I would say it was more of my mindset, and it was 90% mental that year. The improvement that's where the improvement came, and just focusing on doing the right things will lead to success. So just knowing that and just doing the right things every play and just trying to focus on doing the right things, ultimately it will just lead into good plays, and that just keeps carrying over.
Ronnie, there's probably no unit group on the team, which is more sort of develops its own culture to the way the offensive line does.
Arguably.
No,
it's not, sorry.
It's 100%.
I don't know, man.
We do everything together.
Me and Jay, man, we'll talk about it.
You guys do. You move as a pack, and you share so much with each other. The difference this year is you've been a leader of that, and we talked about it last year before this started about this would be a year where the thing you add to your game is that leadership component. How have you tried to lead what is such a distinct group?
Yeah, so more this year than I did last year. I really saw myself trying to help my teammates and really worried about them getting better instead of worrying about myself getting better. Even though I knew I still had to get better, I was thinking about them more. And just knowing that making them better is going to make me better because I'm just going to understand it that much more. And I think that was the biggest difference from last year to this year, leadership-wise, yeah.
We're headed to a real marquee bowl against a great team with a lot of tradition. But it also raises the potential of a very interesting matchup between two of the most celebrated players in college football, a defensive end at Ohio State, Joey Bosa, and you. That's the sort of matchup you look forward to, I know.
Yeah, it's opportunity. So you gotta take the most of it and really take advantage of it, and that's what I'm gonna do.
How much do you guys think about, opposing defensive lines? I think
Like by person or
yeah,
like
like personnel wise, I understand. You have to understand scheme, and I think that with an offensive line, you have to understand blocking schemes and who to block. But on defense, we understand that we look at the offensive lineman, and I know the weak point, the strong point, who their best players are.
Yeah.
So with Joey Bosa, or a guy like him, whether that's Shaq Lawson from Clemson or whoever it is, how much do you guys have to consider him in your preparation?
Well, every week we look at the personnel and we really try to be specific about who our rusher is or who we're going against that play. And a lot of different players do different things, and that's one of the advantages that our offensive line has, is that we look at specific things that each person does on a defensive line, and we remember those things throughout the game, and we really focus on those things and practice them throughout the week, and it really gives us a good advantage.
So you talked about you look at defensive lines, and last week we had Isaac on the show, and we were talking about you and about how to attack Ronnie Stanley. Really, no, we were talking about just how difficult it is to really get by you on a pass rush. Maybe now return the favor and talk about maybe somebody on our defensive line, or a couple guys, and just what makes our defensive line challenging in practice.
Yeah, so they have Sheldon Day.
They
have Sheldon Day, and Sheldon's gonna be the best defensive player that I played against this year in college. I feel like fundamentals-wise, strength-wise, he's just an all-around player. And having a guy like that on our team, he makes everyone else better. And with the talent that our defensive line has, and the leader that Sheldon is, our defensive line has gotten a lot better this year, especially with Coach Gilmore, leading the charge up there, really teaching good fundamentals and technique. They really improved, and I think we both kind of fed off each other throughout camp and preseason, really making each other better. I know you probably felt the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
That whole box in our offense line, we're banging every day, and I really think that we kind of set each other up for a good season, because I don't remember hitting any linebackers harder than you and Jalen hit,
No.
and I don't remember blocking any D linemen harder than our D line. So.
He threw me in there with Jalen. You hear that?
I did hear that.
Hey,
yeah.
he used to smack. used to.
Oh,
Just
used
kidding.
to?
Just
What?
kidding.
Just throw me under the table.
Hey, your body's a little sore. I understand.
I referred earlier to the culture. Part of that is set by a really talented and enigmatic head assistant coach, right? One of the most interesting guys on the staff. Tell us a little bit about playing for Harry.
He's a great guy. Coach Heasan's a great guy, and he really understands you on a personal level that I never thought he would, because I didn't tell him anything about my life, but he somehow knows everything about my life, and he's just one of those people who really just understands people, even if you don't think he does or don't want him to understand you. He understands people, and he's a great coach, and he's an offensive line coach. That's what he does, and that's what he knows, and he sticks to it. He doesn't try to be someone he's not, and that's what I love about him. He doesn't try to please anyone. He doesn't change himself to please anyone. He's just himself, and I really respect him, and he's just a great guy.
We always talk about Coach Heastan's personality, and really, the way in which he coaches people, but we never talk about what that style actually is. For our viewers, obviously, tone down to radio standards. What is his style, and how does he coach you on a daily basis?
Me, it's a little different from like the younger guys. He won't do as much yelling towards the older guys, just people who get the concepts a little more, get the technique a little more. But a lot of the guys in there, they still get reamed on pretty hard, and it's not slow. We're going fast and we're getting through plays, but he's watching 5 people each play, and that takes probably 10 minutes of play, and he's reaming every single player that doesn't do anything right. No one's getting away with anything. If you think he's going to skip a play or missing a block or something, that's not going to happen. He's going to get on you for everything, and that makes you better as a player. You might be frustrated at some times. I've been frustrated with him many times, but he's definitely made me better as a player.
Well, we certainly see that over time, and one of the manifestations of that is the number of guys he's coached that are in the league. Have you reached out? Do you stay in touch with any of the guys you lined up with here who are now in the league, like Zach or Chris or anybody else?
Yeah, I've talked to Zach and Chris Weil multiple times. Eifert too. Those guys are just, they're just good guys, and a lot of other guys to it. Manti. I've talked to those guys times since they've been in the NFL, and they're the same people. They haven't changed, and they're just great friends to have.
Do they talk a little bit about, Zach obviously playing for Coach Heastan? It's similar, to what you're going to be experiencing. You talked a little about the first year transition into the NFL. It's obviously going to be different, but maybe did he feel adequately prepared? When he entered an NFL locker room coming from our system.
Yeah, he felt very prepared, and he said what you just said. Coaches are going to be like Coach Heastan, intensity-wise and the specific-wise, focusing on the fundamentals and specific things and really harping on them. So I think what Coach Heastan's doing is really getting all of us ready for the next level.
Ronnie, we're going to wrap it up, but I want to thank you for all you've done for the program. Certainly as a great player, but as such an effective leader this year. All of us are so excited to watch what the next 5 months holds for you. I'll see you at the Combine. We'll have Pro Day here and, of course, Draft Day. But all of it is going to be a just reward for all you've done to make yourself the best player you can be, and in our judgment, the best offensive lineman in the country. So congratulations, and thanks for all you've done.
Thank you, Mr. Swarbrick.
I'm coming for you tomorrow, by the way.
I'm ready. Every day.
We'll be back in a minute.